Aloha. It is Michelle Jericho Poplar of Queen Mabsy LLC here recording on the 8-8 Lionsgate portal live from the 808 state of Hawaii. Now, we are actually our own little verse here in the middle of the Pacific. Um, and we will be experiencing shifts altogether from the pico of the planet. That means belly button. That is Hawaii. And we are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So surrounded by salt water, and stuff is shifting globally. Now, there are portal jumping opportunities galore happening through eclipse seasons. They are opportunities to let go of shift that you don't prefer and engage with new feelings that you do prefer. They usually come with a challenge that arises during the period of time, usually leading about 7. So it's about a 2-week period. We are already thick in the 8-8 portal, being that it apexes today as I'm recording this, and we are already in eclipse portal season. Now, let's go over this month, as this is my first monthly update I've done in a long while. I figured that it being eclipse portal season, that I might need to show you some astrological charts to show you how this is affecting us on a big cosmic level. Now, we started out this month with an August 6th with the planet Venus entering the sign of Libra. She was shifting out of meticulous Virgo. She is now in her home sign of Libra. She rules the air sign of Libra, the sign of beauty, art, relationships, right relationships, being in equanimity and joy in her unpreferred polarity. It can show up as people pleasing, as in not choosing a side, and annoyingly so. So, and being a little wishy-washy, not actually being very reliable, being a little flaky, air signs. Now, what we're focusing on when Venus is entering in this period of Libra is how to be in right relationship. And that is going to affect you in a different way, depending on what your rising sign is and where your Libra is in your birth chart. We have 12 houses. So depending on where your rising sign is, which would be your ascendant, that determines where in your chart Libra Venus is affecting. If you need a reading, you may go to my website to www.queenmabsy.com and please book a reading. I'd be happy to help you. So we are in this peak of the 8-8 Lionsgate. Now, this is such a buzzword among the spiritual community, and it's a numerological thing. Now we have the 8th house, which is Scorpio ruled, and Pluto ruled. 8 looks like an infinity symbol. And this is when the sun in Leo aligns with the Earth, Orion's belt, and Earth's binary star partner, serious, seriously a big deal in the spiritual community. You'll see everybody talking about it and hear everyone talking about it every single year. Now, why is it such a thing? Well, the Egyptians actually created the Sphinx in alignment with the constellation of Leo in the age of Leo, so that the constellation of Leo would rise in alignment with the Sphinx. Now, thousands of years later, the Sphinx is aligned with the opposite. It is aligned with Aquarius. So Aquarius is here, ruler of the 11th house. Leo is here, ruler of the 5th house. 5th house is joy, children, everything that you're just super passionate about. 11th house is community, everything around you, how you're a part of everything. Leo is about the me. Aquarius is about the we. This celestial alignment is occurring now. And it is a portal because when Sirius rises and becomes visible again on dawn horizon, after weeks of just being hidden in the Cassini of the sun's glare, as in think of them like Isis and Osiris of Egyptian mythology, the original passionate couple. Isis, very famously, after her husband was murdered, put him back together again and made Horus. So you can look into that mythology, but it's Isis is kind of like the original Venus in mythology. So associated with Venus, and we have Venus in Libra, about relationships, the divine mother and divine father. You can think about these binary stars of our sun, aka in Egyptian mythology called Ra. That's a very masculine name. What if Sirius is his partner? So the binary stars work together, they orbit together, and they have their own light. Leo is ruled by the sun, by Ra, and it is the only sign in the zodiac that isn't ruled by a planet. It is ruled by the center of our solar system. So that is why Leos have so much self-importance, because truly they are ruled by the sun. So they have no other programming other than to be heart-centered, the sun. On August 8th, today, the Leo midpoint of 15 degrees is a halfway point between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. This is a material abundance portal for you to activate if you take aligned actions to do so. It's not like, oh, I'm going to meditate on 8-8 and everything is just going to come to me. No, we still have to take aligned actions, but do it in such a way that you manifest the best through your meditation. Visualize through your heart space. In your heart space, what you are wanting to manifest over this period, and be radically accepting of the challenges that that could be already arising for you as we are actively in eclipse season. eclipse season will bring challenges to remove things that are misaligned and aren't for you anymore. The lessons can be tough. They can be harsh. They can even seem like there's some cruel curse or universal boo-hoo. Know that these things are happening for us, not to us. They are happening because shifts happen and things just need to change from time to time. That is just life. So after this day, August 8th, on August 9th, Mercury will enter Leo. And on August 11th, Mars is entering into Cancer. Now, Leos, you already got Jupiter in your sign, and you just had the Jupiter Cassini, meaning that Jupiter was just at the end of July, Cassini'd the sun, meaning that it kissed the sun in alignment and expanded everything to do with Leo, meaning me, all of the me's. But there was an opposition to Pluto in Aquarius. So the transformation of Pluto retrograde in Aquarius is causing a bit of a retrograde pole motion in one moment. I gotta pause. Oh, am I even recording? Case in point, my Aquarius child was making quite a bit of noise, so I was distracted and I had to go ask. So the me was like going to my little we, and I'm like, whoa, can't concentrate. Anyway, exhibit A. So Mars entering Cancer, and they're still really loud. You know what? You're just going to hear them in the background because I don't edit. I don't have time to edit. I'm a mom, and this is just going to be raw and uncut, and hopefully you enjoy the entertainment. Now, very distracting. You might find that concentrating as we approach the eclipse, at least for moi, has been extremely challenging. I personally have been feeling the eclipse energies in a way of being extremely tired. You may feel fatigued. You might need extra rest. And, allow yourself that because we are infinite beings having a human experience. And Neptune and Saturn are retrograde in Aries, and Aries is the body. So you might need some more time to remember that you need time for yourself and your body. As we are still, I'm talking about rewind, talking about today as I'm recording this 8/8 portal. This, think of the energy as giving and receiving with Venus in Libra. This is about equanimity and about infinite equanimity. You look at the infinity sign and you turn it this way, it is an 8. We have the sun aligning with its partner Sirius. So this is seriously about balancing out our relationships to self and other, with Jupiter expanding that energy in Leo, and Pluto regressing the transformation in the collective. Pluto is in Aquarius for 18 years. So this is a marathon, not a race. The collective is going to take some time to catch up to the individual experience. So radically accept that things in the external society, despite knowing that there are many of us who have a level of awareness that things need to shift and change. However, it is going to take some years for these things to change. Eclipse season usually takes about 6 months or months to expand on the information that they dish out. Now, the solar eclipse that is happening on August 12th. Now, let me show my screen here. Da-da! Here we are. Now, we have this beautiful 8-8 portal. Oh yeah, this is the 8-8 portal. Let me rewind. I actually wanted to go over the 8-8 portal astrology first to lay a foundation of today, and then I'm going to go sequentially into the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So as of today, 8-8, we have the sun in Leo at 16 degrees. Here is Venus cruising in at 1 degree Libra already. And we have as of today, the moon is in Gemini, activating this stellium of information. We have Uranus and Mars and Ceres all here with the vertex, which represents the collective fate. Now, this is an innovation point. We are in a fated innovation point when it comes to all things communication, and it is no coincidence that, to me, with these aspects and changes, that news came out about OpenAI hacking into something that it wasn't supposed to. With shenanigans, meaning that Uranus rules technology and Mars is, well, he's a mischievous little egomaniac sometimes. And the moon there, well, that just kind of, and it is also in a trine to the North Node in Aquarius. Now, the nodes just shifted from Pisces to Aquarius. That is the North Node. So the North Node is like the dragon's head. It's the ecliptic of the earth. It is where the moon's light is not. And that is a mathematical point of where we are collectively headed. And in your birth chart, this represents where your soul is going to go to in its mastery after it overcomes these challenges. Now, it usually represents the challenges that you are meant to lean into this life so that you may move on and reincarnate to the next level. The south node of the moon collectively is in Virgo. And that is the tail of the dragon, where we have been and where the collective is letting go. It was letting go in Virgo of old daily routines and patterns that no longer serve. Now it is going into Leo. So it is removing old ego patterns that no longer serve and reprogramming us for the next 18 months on how to become more aligned me's and lean into how the me works with the we, the Aquarius. Now we also have the stellium of the Vesta, which is asteroid goddess who represents the home, hearth, things that we invest in. We have Pallas Athena, the goddess of knowledge and also the warrior goddess. She also was a general. Now she's basically the Wonder Woman of the zodiac. She will take charge, the activist of women. Saturn retrograde in Aries and Neptune retrograde in Aries. Now, these planets are all telling us to invest in your authority of the time you take around your physical rest and expand upon said physical rest. Because we're still coming out of this basket configuration. As you can see here, it is now aligned with Mars in Gemini. Mars is all about taking right action, and Vesta and what we invest in right now, and the north and south nodes. So taking those lessons of the last 18 months of the nodes in Pisces and Virgo, where we were letting go of old daily routines and leaning into our new spiritual truths, and now letting go of our old egos and reinventing ourselves in our new collective identity. Aquarius. Today also there is a grand air trine. Now this is when three planets configure a triangle. So we have Venus in Libra, we have Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus in Gemini. Now, the feet of the trine is the Pluto retrograde and the Venus direct in Libra energy. Now, this is about transforming our relationships, our personal relationships, and our collective focus. And that points to what we're innovating, Uranus, and what fates we're innovating, because it is right next to the vertex. Now, let's go on to the eclipse on the 12th. So on Wednesday, the 12th, and in between this day of the 8th and the 12th, we will have Mercury entering Leo and Mars entering Cancer. So those energies you're going to feel shifts leading up to the eclipse. So Mercury is going to be going from the warm, motherly Cancer energy of that everyone's going to be thinking these loving, motherly thoughts. And then they're going to be, what about me? I need time for me. The energy of Mercury is going to shift, literally shift from water into fire. Mars is going to now follow in Mercury's footsteps because Mars will be moving from the air sign not flaky Gemini, intelligent, clever Gemini. They are moving in away from the duality of the intelligence of Gemini into the watery, moody, emotional sign of cardinal Cancer. Cardinal means that it is a sign that marks the shift of the seasons, as in the summer solstice is the beginning of Cancer season, for example. Now, moving on to so that's on the 11th day before the eclipse. So you're going to feel that shift of your actions kind of getting a little wishy-washy because of the energy shifting from air to water with the actions of Mars. Now, for the eclipse, the solar eclipse on August 12th. Now, this, I've been marking all these times based off of Hawaii Standard Time, because that's where I'm at. And this eclipse in Hawaii actually apexes at 7:46 p.m. on Wednesday, August 12th. Now, it's not visible in the state of Hawaii. It's actually visible in not us. So let me just play this for you from timeanddate.com. I love this site. It's just so this is the eclipse path. As you can see, Hawaii here is not affected by this eclipse, but all these other places, as in the northern hemisphere, has been affected. And if you, I did notice there was some news specifically that came out about that Spain just won the FIFA World Cup. And there was some news about migrants coming from Morocco to Spain just recently, which I found interesting because that is where the eclipse is pretty strong. And it'll be at the totality on this dark orange spot. So between Greenland and Spain, you will notice that generally around 6 months, there will be a period of time where there's a focal point of happenings around these areas that are highlighted by the eclipse. And this is just statistically documented by astrologers historically tracking eclipses over time with news that it's just kind of uncanny to ignore. So yeah, we had the eclipse. We had a lunar eclipse, for example, eclipse season that was um, a lunar eclipse that was very visible in Hawaii in March. And then we had floods that month. So just saying, shifts happen, these bodies kind of pull and shift the earth. So just having a level of awareness that's why we astrologers are so fascinated by this modality, is because it's striking how the patterns reflect in the global shifts and personal shifts as well. And it makes the cosmos and life, the universe and everything just kind of make more sense. Like, oh, it's programmed to do that. Cool. And I can become more accepting of the challenging bits and know that they will change things where it is necessary. Because sometimes stuff needs to like break down to break through. So on this solar eclipse apexing in Hawaii, in the state of Hawaii. So this is how it is affecting us here in this position. So if you want to take this time and convert it to your local time and look it up for where you're at 7:46 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, Universal Time 5:46. So we still have the grand trine occurring, and it's between Pluto, Venus, and Uranus. And the eclipse, now you will see, here's the moon and the sun hanging out together. So that means that the moon goes over the sun and it casts a shadow. The moon represents our emotions, and the sun represents our heart. That's why the song, The Total Eclipse of the Heart, makes so much sense and to everyone, because our feelings kind of get in the way of our heart's desires. It can almost hold us up. So staring at our shadow, staring at the shadow feelings and knowing that they're there and they need to be looked at, not directly. Of course, don't stare into a solar eclipse, but you have the special goggles, okay? But figuratively, when you're looking at those special goggles and you're looking at a solar eclipse, if you're anywhere in the world where you can actually observe it, know that this eclipse is happening in the sign of Leo. So this has everything to do with your universe, your heart space, and your self-love, and how you create containers for your feelings. Because it's at 20 degrees. 20 degrees is a 0 and a 2. 0 is a container, and 2 represents our feelings. So it is about facing your feelings, and those can come up as removing any negative thought patterns that are life negating, as in they don't serve your highest purpose. They don't serve your purpose. They don't fulfill you. They don't motivate you. Those are the things that, if those are coming up for you now, that is the time to journal them out on a piece of paper and throw them into your fireplace. Burn them up. Let it go. And really expand on new thought patterns, new self-loving thought patterns. And how to do that is, well, remember, we got all those planets in Aries, and Chiron, the healer, master teacher, at 0 degrees Taurus. And he is retrograde. So he's kind of offline right now and on vacation. Okay. He's holding space from afar, but your appointment with your doctor isn't gonna be until probably next year. So yeah, a bit on your own now. But he's got your back because we have a trine to the moon, the trine, harmonic trine to this lunar eclipse. So he's already given you enough lessons through Aries. So he's left the classroom and he's given you the test. And it is time to be taking the test. And it is going to last through the Chiron retrograde. Now we have the Saturn and Neptune retrograde. So this is all, Aries is all about the body. So when it comes to, you're not going to think your way out of any challenge. You're going to do, you're going to be, and you're going to do. Cyclical thought pattern thinking and visualizing is helpful to a certain extent. But if you're stuck in a loop, the only way out of the loop is to move your body. And you will be feeling that wishy-washy, watery loop because of the Mars in Aries trine the North Node in Pisces, which is another water sign. Or sorry, the North Node in Aquarius. Sorry, it was in Pisces for 18 months. So all of those lessons that we've lived about reinventing our spiritual space, our consciousness, is now being reflected in the collective with the North Node in Aquarius. So this is the August 12th eclipse. Now, some astrologers will call it an eclipse fallout, or I call it a shift or a challenge. Normally, a problem will arise to be solved either about 7 to 4 days before or after the eclipse, either on the eclipse. It varies for the individual based off of your personal birth chart. Now, if you want an eclipse reading, do go to my website and www.queenmabsy.com and book a reading. And I can help you out with that. Now, moving on to the rest of the lunar eclipse that is going to happen at the end of the month, because whenever there's a solar eclipse, there's also a lunar eclipse 2 weeks later, because there's a new moon, which is the solar eclipse, and the full moon, which is the lunar eclipse. So when we approach this lunar eclipse will be in Hawaiʻi time, will be Friday, August 26th at 6:50 p.m. And in Hawaii, it will be visible around moonrise. So if themes come up, because this eclipse is actually in Pisces, and it is occurring at 18 degrees of Pisces, which means that we're making new decisions around our heart-based feelings. Themes around, I would not be surprised in our area in Hawaii if more information comes up about the floods that happened last March. Just going to throw that out there as a possibility. And the full moon will be rising. And if you're in the right spot where you can see the moon rising, you might be able to see this partial lunar eclipse. So here is the trajectory of the partial lunar eclipse, as you can see. It goes over South America and Brazil, primarily. Then it goes over the ocean. And then you can see how we are in the shadow. So we're going to see a little bit of it. Now, all these areas will be probably in the news in the next 6 months. Going back to the chart for the lunar eclipse, because the lunar eclipse energy is more about the Earth's shadow eclipsing the light of the moon, which is reflecting the light of the sun. The moon represents our feelings, and it's reflecting what the heart wants, what the heart is shining on. And this is when the sun has already moved into Virgo. And this is with Mercury has moved into Virgo at this point. So it's going to be about like if you're not having new loving thoughts, those are the shadows that are going to be coming up. And they're going to be about your health, your daily routines, all things Virgo. And the earth, its shadow, the earth is dense. It's a planet and it's full of life. And the earth represents what is tangible, reality, what's real, what is third density, what is our agreed upon incarnation on this planet Earth, planet mothership Earth, and how we interact with the things on planet mothership Earth. And this is Virgo is an earth sign and is a mutable earth sign. Pisces is mutable water, meaning like the beach, the sand, and the sea, moving and shifting with the energies. Getting back to that infinity symbol where energy goes and it comes back in. So having that acceptance of whatever shifts are happening for you and for us collectively when it comes to all things spirit and earth. What a month. Now, coming out of July, which was very, very active, and into eclipse season, is quite the energetic roller coaster. So, moving on into other aspects that I'd like to touch on this month that we should address August 22nd when the sun enters Virgo. As we go through the rest of Leo season. Now, any Leos born in August, you're kind of in the higher decans or more mastery level of Leo. But the all Leos are going to be directly affected by this August 12th solar eclipse. And because Jupiter is there, the opportunity for expansion is there and hope. So expand on your hopes, expand on your faith, and hunt for the good, even though there might seem to be some challenges arising because of that Pluto retrograde uh, opposite Leo in Aquarius. And because it's an eclipse, it's not easy energy. It is work. All right. But a Leo is willing to do work because they love action, right? So enjoy and get curious about your eclipse shifts that are happening for you, not to you, because the collective is going to be feeling it more than the individuals. The individuals, if you are coming from a heart centered space, loving and curious, the external realities shifts that are happening on our mystic rectangles that we're watching won't be directly affecting you as long as you are working through the misalignments by moving your body and hydrating, getting rest. And that's it. It's really that easy. And my kitty is asking me for food. That is appropriate as we are in the Leo Lionsgate. Let me go get her. Yes. What is it, kitty? What is you want to say? No. Okay. She does not want to say hi. But my bunny. Whoa. Yes. This is Gandalf the Grey. I know you don't like being picked up. We're have a very good eclipse season, everybody. You shall not pass. Mwah. There you go. Yes, we have lots of cute animals around here. So until next monthly report, I might be a while because I prefer doing weekly reports, but since I didn't do a weekly report last week, this is what I'm doing. Anyway, I love you all. You have a happy month eclipse season. Ooh, all right, bye.